Hi, I'm Becca.
And I'm Cali.
Welcome to Movies with Becca and Cali. Today we're going to be reviewing The Boy Who Could Fly. The main character in this movie's name is Eric. He's a 15-year-old boy in high school who lives with his uncle because of his parents' death in a plane crash when he was very young. He's in a general education classroom. However, he has autism spectrum disorder.
Yep. The other main character in this movie is Millie, who's a 15-year-old girl and just moved next door to Eric. She's dealing with the loss of her father and basically running her house as if she's the mom, and she's also Eric's only friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel because of this movie that I have a much better grasp of what it's like to see children with autism.
You know, that might be right. I mean, I am an autism expert, actually, and the movie did have a lot of good representations of autism. However, it did have a few misrepresentations because of the Hollywood aspect of it.
Okay. Well, sometimes Eric would pretend that he was flying and stand outside of windows and flap his arms. Is that realistic of a child with autism?
I mean, that is a good example of self-stimulatory behaviors, which children with autism sometimes display. I mean, it doesn't always have to be the flapping of the arms, but children display other characteristics such as rapid movement, like rocking or arm flapping, for example.
Okay. And also, it sort of seemed like he wasn't doing too well in his general education classroom. He was always in the back or not paying attention. He was making paper airplanes. I mean, is that realistic?
I mean, this film was made in the late 80s, and this was before autism spectrum disorder was given a federal definition in 1990. So he was not given the extra help or attention in the classroom because of this, because of the time period.
Okay. Well, he spends the entire movie completely silent until the end where he says, 3 words. That's a characteristic of autism?
Yeah. I mean, children with autism spectrum disorder have extraordinary difficulties in language development. I mean, some children can even become mute, kind of like Eric. I mean, it causes them to have difficulties interacting with other students and making friends, and unfortunately, that was Eric's case in this movie.
Okay. And so because of that, he was sort of an outcast, which sort of seems unfair. And also, the movie it basically implies that Eric's autism was caused by the death of his parents. Is that even realistic?
I mean, not really, because the cause of autism is unknown, but there are definitely biological and environmental factors that can affect the identification of autism. However, a traumatic experience like this simply isn't enough to cause a child to have autism spectrum disorder.
Oh, okay.
Not realistic.
I have to bring it up. Flying, realistic?
Yeah, unfortunately, this movie was just kind of switched up at the end. I thought everything was going fine at first. It was a good movie. Displayed autism fairly accurately. But then he just jumped out the window and started flying.
That's so ridiculous.
That's not a characteristic of autism, ladies and gentlemen.
Not at all. Not even characteristic of children in general.
That was definitely their Hollywood moment, I would say.
Yeah, right? Definitely. It's very dramatic. Okay, so overall, Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie a 71% for being a fantasy because of the flying, and we feel that's pretty accurate as far as the entertainment factor of the movie goes. It was pretty entertaining as an inspirational tearjerker and kept me interested until the flying. But
I mean, and as for a movie displaying autism, things seemed to be going pretty well throughout it, just until the flying part, unfortunately. So we would give it, based on that, a 75%.
Yeah. And that's been our review on The Boy Who Could Fly.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yep, we will see you next time.
Yep.